Black Chicagoans are increasingly expressing concern to city leaders and Mayor Brandon Johnson about the placement of migrants in their communities. In May, the Chicago City Council approved $51 million in funding to support undocumented migrants who have been arriving in the city. The taxpayer funds were allocated to provide staffing, food, transportation, and legal services at temporary shelters. The migrants who have been bussed or flown in from Texas have begun to complain about the conditions at the shelters where they are being housed, as well as the lack of access to necessities. Trending Politics reported a small group of immigrants recently showed up at City Hall to protest, saying, "We need paid job training. We need jobs. We need housing. You promised us safe living conditions, but our rights have been violated." Chicago has struggled to accommodate the influx of migrants. Former Mayor Lori Lightfoot, before leaving office, issued an emergency declaration in response to the influx of migrants arriving in Chicago who are seeking asylum, calling it a national humanitarian crisis. During one city council meeting, residents said they are feeling unsafe. "They disrespect us, rob us, and harass us." One woman claimed a black man who spoke gave an ominous warning, saying that if the city doesn't resolve their concerns, the residents will take it up and deal with it on a street level. Black Chicagoans rip Mayor Brandon Johnson over influx of migrants. As Black Chicagoans express concerns on the impact of the influx of migrants on their communities, Mayor Brandon Johnson continues to be a vocal supporter of welcoming migrants to Chicago. He has said that the city is a welcoming city and that migrants are an asset to our community. Now, residents in some black neighborhoods are protesting the city's plans to use facilities that serve marginalized communities to shelter migrants. Edgewater residents resist Chicago migrants moving into Broadway Armory. Leaders want more resources. There have been complaints about the lack of security at the Inn of Chicago in Streeterville, where 1,400 migrants are living. While most are obeying shelter rules and city laws, some are not. There were about 60 kids, guns in their waistbands, consuming alcohol and smoking marijuana on the public right away, unchecked. And this is not a one-time occurrence. Source: the $51 million in funding the city approved was only a temporary solution to address the migrants' needs through August. Additional funds were granted through FEMA of about $8 million. Chicago had requested over $190 million. Black political opinion. Chicagoans protested Trump immigration policies. Now black neighborhoods have a migrant crisis. Democrats and Republicans' views on immigration differ. Democrats are likely to support policies that make it easier for immigrants to come to the United States, such as DACA and a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants. Republicans are more likely to support policies that make it more difficult for immigrants to come to the United States, such as increased border security and stricter enforcement of immigration laws. In 2017, Chicagoans took to the streets to protest Donald Trump's immigration policies. They marched, rallied, and held sit-ins in opposition to the Trump administration's efforts to restrict legal and illegal immigration. President Biden took office on January 20, 2021, with a promise to reverse many of the Trump administration's immigration policies. Border crossings 3 times higher under Biden than Trump. In the months that followed, Biden made significant progress on that promise into plus years. The Biden administration has overseen a historically high influx of migrants. The city of Chicago is facing a dilemma and will need to continue to work with the state and federal government to find a long-term solution.